Elon was on Tucker. Much better interview than the BBC fiasco. Now, Elon is a slow talker. He gets distracted, not in the sense of, going off topic, but once he's on a topic, he can't go and get around the houses to the point. And Tucker was very patient with him, bringing him back to the point. And I'm telling you this in warning that this is going to be a very slow interview, as some of you have probably already watched. So we're trying to cut to the point.
Before the acquisition closed. I didn't have the most number of followers, but I had the most number of interactions. And so I clearly know something about how to use Twitter. People's attention is limited, so just make sure you put the stuff that's most important there.
So because, you and people like you do interact on Twitter, it's obviously enormously powerful in shaping public opinion. It's where a lot of ideas and trends are incubated.
Yeah.
That's why you
Absolutely.
bought it. It's also a magnet for intel agencies from around the world. And
yes.
One of the things we learned after you started opening the books is...
So he's been talking about it, and you see that slight smile when Tucker says, it's a magnet for intelligence agencies around the world. I know some things about that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not making fun of him in that sense, but I definitely think he has read some of their own stuff that normal people do not have access to.
That they were exerting influence from within Twitter.
I mean, it was absurd.
Did you know that going in?
No. Since I've been a heavy Twitter user since 2009, it's sort of like I'm in the matrix. I mean, I can see, do things feel right? Do they not feel right? What tweets am I being shown as recommended? I get a feel like what accounts are making comments. Where are the comments eerily similar?
Yeah.
And then you look at the account, and it's just obviously a fake photo, and it's just obviously a bot cluster
Yes.
over and over again. So I started to get just more and more uneasy about the Twitter situation. I was starting to feel like something's wrong in the state of Denmark here. Something feels wrong about the platform. It seemed to be just drifting in a. I couldn't place it exactly. Just it felt like it was drifting in a bad direction. So then.
All right, now Elon is giving you his truth. You see them shoulders going up as he's trying to explain his intuition, the feeling he was getting from Twitter that something was wrong. And he's bringing his shoulders up, and they kind of stay up like that because he's struggling to get out the intuition part and articulate it. This is his truth. It wasn't some undercover event that was happening. It's Elon being Elon.
I was like, and my conversations with the board and management seemed to confirm my intuition about that. But basically, I was convinced these guys do not care about fixing Twitter, and I had a bad feeling about where I was headed based on the conversations I had with them. So then I was like, you know what, I'll try acquiring it and see if.
So then you see that part, his mouth goes tight, brings it up, brings himself up, kind of threw his hands up in front of him. There was no other option other than to buy it. That was the mental walk on where he is at today.
That's see if acquiring it is possible. Now, I didn't have enough cash to acquire it, so I would need support from others, from some of the existing investors. I would also need a lot of debt, and so it wasn't clear to me whether an acquisition would succeed, but I thought I would try. And ultimately, it did succeed. Anyway, here we are.
But when you got there and all of a sudden you own it and all the data on the servers belongs to you. And
well, it belongs to the people in my view, but yes.
But you can see what it is, and you can
yes.
see what they've been doing, and you can see who's been working there. You were shocked to find out that various intel agencies were affecting its operations?
The degree to which various government agencies had effectively had full access to everything that was going on Twitter blew my mind. I was not aware of that.
Would that include people's DMs?
Yes. Yes, because the DMs are not encrypted. So one of the things that we're about to.
Okay, so that was a little odd. We see the believe me look for the first yes. And then a yes, and then he brings his hand up and touches the back of his head. This seems like a weaselly move. And I say that in the sense of he had that access, and the weaseliness of it is his own guilt coming through of reading personal DMs, which is fine. My philosophy is don't put anything out there on the internet that you wouldn't mind screaming in the middle of Walmart. If you're going to scream it in the middle of Walmart, then you should mind the DMs.
To release is the ability to encrypt your DMs.
That's pretty heavy duty, though, because a lot of well-known people, reporters talking to their sources, government officials, the richest people in the world, they're DMing each other. And the assumption, obviously, it was incorrect, but was that that's private, but that was being read by various governments?
Yeah, that seems to be, yes.
It's scary.
Yes, it is. Like I said, we're moving to have the DMs be optionally encrypted. I mean, there's like a lot of DM conversations which are, just chatting with friends. It's not important.
Of course.
It's hopefully coming out later this month, but no later than next month, is the ability to toggle encryption on or off. So if you are in a conversation you think is sensitive, you can just toggle encryption on, and then no one at Twitter can see what you're talking about. They could put a gun to my head and I couldn't tell. I couldn't.
Now we're seeing a little bit of believe me look here. His believe me look is not like a massive thing, I guess, in his mind, which I would hope for many people that it would be, is you either believe me or you don't. I'm just giving you a little bit of more emphasis that this is how it is. I don't have to stress about it, because that's really what a believe me look is extra stress, because they want you to believe what is coming out of their mouth. Shall we move on?
What's happening is they're training the AI to lie.
Yes.
It's bad.
To lie. That's
lie.
Exactly right. And to withhold information.
To lie and yes, and yeah, exactly. To either comment on some things, not comment on other things, but not to say what the data actually demands that it say.
Exactly. How did it get this way? I thought you funded it at the beginning. What happened?
Yeah, well, that'll be ironic. But the most ironic outcome is the most likely, it seems.
I'm stealing that. That's good.
That's actually a friend of mine, Jonah, came up with that one. I actually have a slight variant on that, which is the most entertaining outcome is the most likely. But that's entertaining as viewed from a third-party viewer.
Right.
Like, so if we're like an alien
from
TV
on
show.
high, yes.
Yeah. Like you could go see a movie about World War I and they're being blown to bits and they're gassed and everything in the trenches, and it's like you're eating popcorn and having a soda, it's fine. Not so great for the people in the movie.
True.
This sort of Occam's razor, the simplest explanation is most likely. Jonah's variant, which is irony, and then my variant, which is the most entertaining as seen by a third-party audience, which seems to be mostly true.
But it seems true in this case. So you gave them, did you give them a lot?
I came up with the name and the concept and pushed, had a number of dinners around the Bay Area with some of the people, the leading figures in AI. And I helped recruit the initial team. In fact, the Ilya Sutskever, who was really quite fundamental to the success of OpenAI, I put a tremendous amount of effort into recruiting Ilya, and he changed his mind a few times and ultimately decided to go with OpenAI. But if he had not gone with OpenAI, OpenAI would not have succeeded. I really put a lot of effort into creating this organization to serve as a counterweight to Google. And then I kind of took my eye off the ball, I guess, and they are now closed source, and they are obviously for profit, and they're closely allied with Microsoft. In effect, Microsoft has a very strong say, if not directly controls OpenAI at this point. So you really have an OpenAI Microsoft situation, and then a Google DeepMind are the other two sort of heavyweights in this arena.
So it seems like the world needs a third option.
Yes. So I think I will create a third option, although it's starting very late in the game, of course.
Can it be done?
I don't know. I think we'll see. It's definitely starting late, but I'll try to create a third option, and that third option hopefully does more good than harm.
So as he's sitting there talking about the third option, and I've already talked about he is very slow to getting to the point. It's not a bad thing, especially in this situation, because he's actually thinking it out as he's talking about it. And that is why you see him looking off in the distance as he's thinking this out. I'll create a third option. And the brain is thinking, can I do that? Is this feasible? Do I have time? You know, all those logistics that come into creating something that you know is going to take resources and time. So you're getting his honest answer. I will try.
People sometimes take the fact that like we're here on Earth for granted, you know, and that there's the consciousness is just a normal thing that happens. But to the best of my knowledge, we see no evidence of conscious life anywhere in the universe. So it might be there.
There's your alien question. He does a brain search. It's very appropriate. He's filtering. He's looking around. There's nothing there. His body's loose. He gives it some deep thought. He's not squirreling away from it. He's not getting away from it. He's looking at his interviewer dead on with a loose body. Just can't find it.
In physics, they call it sort of the Fermi paradox. After when Enrico Fermi was an amazing physicist, asked the fundamental question, where are the aliens?
Yeah.
A lot of people ask me, where are the aliens? And I think if anyone would know about aliens on Earth, it would probably be me.
I would think.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with space stuff. And I've seen no evidence of aliens. So I would immediately tweet it out. This is a split second. That would be like one of the all-time, probably the top tweet of all time. I found one, guys. It's a jackpot. There's some 8 billion likes,
Now we're seeing the very loose Elon, not just the very subtle, because, he's got some jerky movements in his body language. Shoulders emphasize with him just like people's eyebrows would. It's his shoulders. He has not found any aliens. He's not saying there isn't any, but they haven't found them. I'll say it again. I like Elon. I think he's a genuine human being, which is rare for anyone with multiple billions of dollars, which makes him a true treasure.
If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
If you'd like to learn more about analysing body language, there is a video course available on Mandy's website for Gold subscribers.